Learning English can be fun. Learning from movies and short videos. Learning English from movies and short videos is one of the most enjoyable and effective ways to improve language skills. Movies and videos show how English is used in real life situations, which helps learners understand natural conversations, expression, and pronunciation. When people speak in movies, they use everyday language that is commonly used in daily life. This helps learners hear how native speakers communicate, ask questions, express emotions, and respond in different situations. Watching this conversation helps learners become familiar with natural speech patterns. Short stories are especially useful because they are easy to understand and to watch and understand. They often focus on single topic or situation, which makes it easier for learners to follow the conversation. Watching short videos regularly allow learners to practice listening without feeling overwhelmed. Movies and videos are also help learners understand body language, a facial expression, and a context. Sometimes it's easier to understand the meaning of words when you can see the situation and the emotions of the speakers. This visual support makes learning more natural and engaging. Another advantage of learning through movies and videos is that learners can pause, repeat, and replay scenes. This allows them to listen carefully to difficult words, practice pronunciations, and learn new vocabulary. Subtitles can also be helpful in understanding what is being said. Watching English movies and short stories regularly help learners improve their skills, vocabulary, pronunciation, and confidence in understanding English, couple spoken English. Understanding different accents. Understanding different accents is an important part of learning English. English is spoken all over the world, but people from different countries or regions may pronounce words in slightly different ways. These differences can, in pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation, are called accents. For example, English spoken in the United States, the United Kingdom, Australia, or other countries may sound different, even though the language is the same. Sometimes the same word may be pronounced differently depending where the speaker is from. This can make listening challenging for learners at first. Learning to understand different accents help learners become more confident in real life communication. When you train your ear to different ways of speaking, it becomes easier to understand people from many backgrounds. This is especially useful in international conversation, travel, work, and online communication. On One way to improve this skill is by listening to a variety of English speakers, watching movies, listening to podcasts, following international news, or watching videos from different countries can help you hear different accents. Over time, your brain begins to recognize patterns and sound that may have seem unfamiliar before. It is important not to focus too much on every single word. Instead, try to understand the overall message or idea of what the speaker is saying. Context often helps you understand meaning even in the accent sound different. Another helpful practice is repeating what you hear. This improves both listening and pronunciation while helping you become comfortable with different sound patterns. In conclusion, understanding different accents makes practice and patience. By listening to many speakers and exposing yourself to different forms of English, you will gradually become better at understanding English spoken in a wide of situations. Taking skills and better listening. Note taking is an important skill that helps listeners improve their listening and understanding. When you listen to lesson, lecture, or conversation or video in English, taking notes helps you remember the most important ideas. Instead of trying to remember everything, you can write down the points that help you review the information later. Good note taking does not mean writing every word you hear, instead, focusing on important words, main idea, and key details. This helps you stay focused while listening and make it easier to understand the message. One useful technique is writing keywords and short phrases. Keywords are the most important words that explain the main idea. Short phrases help summarize what speakers is saying without writing full sentence. This saves time and allows you to keep listening carefully. Another helpful method is using symbols, abbreviations, and bullet points. For example, you can use arrows, numbers, or symbols to organize ideas. Bullet points make notes clear and easy to read when reviewing them later. It is also helpful to organize your notes. You can divide your page into sections such as main idea, example, and new vocabulary. This structure helps you quickly understand your notes when you study them again. After listening, it is important to review your note. Reading them again helps reinforce what you learned and allow you to fill in the missing details. You may also add new vocabulary or explanation to the notes clearer. To the notes clearer. So reading short stories is a wonderful way to improve English reading skills. Short stories are usually simple, engaging, and easy to understand, which makes them ideal for listeners who want to practice reading without feeling overwhelmed. One of the main benefit of reading short stories is that they help learners build vocabulary and comprehension. As you read, you encounter new words and phrases in meaningful context. This helps you understand how words are used in sentences and remember them more easily. Short stories also help learners improve their reading speed and confidence. Because of the stories are not very long, learners can finish them quickly and feel a sense of accomplishment. This motivates them to continue reading more often. Another advantage is that the short stories introduce learners to different ideas, cultures, and situations through stories. Readers learn about characters, emotions, problems, and solutions. This makes reading more interesting and enjoyable while helping listeners understand how English is used in real life situations. Reading short stories also improve imagination and critical thinking. As readers follow the event in story, they begin to think about what might happen next, why characters behave in certain ways, and what lessons their story teaches. To practice effectively, learners can read a story more at once. First read, understand the general idea, then read again and notice new vocabulary and sentence structure. It is also helpful to write down new words and try to use them in your own sentences. In your own sentences. Learning through dialogues. Learning through dialogues is an effective way to improve English and understand. Dialogues are short conversations between two or more people. They help learners see how English is used in real life communication. When learners study dialogue, they learn how to ask questions, give answers, greet people, and respond in everyday situation. Dialogue often includes common expressions and phrases that people use in daily conversation. This makes them very helpful for practicing English. Another benefit of learning through dialogue is that it helps learners understand sentence structure and natural language patterns instead of learning isolated words. Learners see how words are combined to form meaningful sentences. Dialogue also improves pronunciation and listening skills. When listeners read dialogues aloud or listen to them being spoken, they become familiar with the rhythm and intonation of English. This helps them speak more natural and confidently. Practicing dialogue with a partner can also be helpful. Two learners can take different roles in the conversation and practice speaking together. This activity makes learning interactive and enjoyable while building confidence in communication. In addition, dialogues help learners prepare for real life situations such as taking in talking in a shop, asking for directions, greeting someone, or introducing themselves. This practice conversation makes learning English more useful and meaningful. In conclusion, learning through dialogues is a powerful method for improving English skills. It helps learners develop speaking, listening, pronunciation, and communication skills while making language more practical and engaging.